It's one of the hardest truths for a man to face. The woman you once thought would love you forever may no longer love you back. And the most painful part? She won't stand in front of you and say, I don't love you anymore. Number. That would almost be easier. Instead, she'll show it. Not with dramatic confessions, but with subtle shifts. Shifts that cut deeper than words. You'll notice less talking, less intimacy, more distance. And if you ignore these signals, you'll end up powerless in your own relationship, confused about what went wrong, questioning yourself at 3 a.m., and wondering if you've become invisible in the very place you once felt at home. But here's the thing, most men never realize. If you can recognize these shifts early, you gain something powerful. You get a choice. You can fight for the relationship while there's still time, or you can walk away with your dignity before she drags your heart through the dirt. And today, I'm going to expose 10 undeniable signs that she's fallen out of love with you. Signs that most men ignore until it's too late. If you've ever felt that unsettling emptiness between you and the woman you love, this is your wake-up call. This is your turning point. But before we dive in, I want you to do something for yourself. Hit subscribe to this channel, Female Code Unlocked. Because if you're tired of being blindsided in relationships, if you want to stop being the man who gets left confused and broken, then this is where you take your power back. Subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. And let me ask you right now, what's harder for you? Letting go when the signs are crystal clear? Or holding on, hoping things will change? Your answer might just reveal where you truly stand in your relationship. Now let's get into the very first sign. Sign number 1. She stops fighting with you. Most men think arguments are a bad thing. They hate the shouting, the complaints, the back and forth that feels like a storm inside the house. And yes, fighting is uncomfortable. It's draining. And sometimes it makes you wonder if the love is worth it. But let me tell you a truth most men never understand. When she stops fighting with you, it's not peace. It's surrender. Think back. When she loved you, she challenged you. She pushed back. She argued not because she wanted war, but because she cared. She wanted to shape the relationship, to keep it alive, to make it better. Even when her words were sharp, there was energy behind them. Energy means investment. It means she still believed in what you had. But when she suddenly goes quiet, that's not growth. That's not maturity. That's detachment. The woman who once demanded to know why you were late now just shrugs her shoulders and says, do whatever you want. The woman who once got annoyed at your bad habits now ignores them like you don't even exist. And you think, finally, she's chilled out. No, my friend. She's not chilled. She's checked out. Her silence isn't peace. It's a red flag waving in your face. It's the sound of her heart shutting the door on you one quiet moment at a time. Here's the dangerous part. Most men celebrate this silence. They think the relationship is finally drama-free, that they've won. But what they don't realize is that she's already halfway out the door. She no longer cares enough to fight. If you want any chance of saving it, you need to act fast. And I don't mean by trying to win her back with flowers or fake gestures. Number. You lean into real, open, honest dialogue. You don't cover the silence with small talk. You face it head on. You sit her down and you say, I can feel the distance and I don't want to ignore it. Because here's the brutal truth. Silence doesn't heal relationships. It buries them. And if you mistake her silence for peace, you'll wake up one day and realize it was the death bell of your relationship. Sign number 2. She barely talks to you anymore. Now let's talk about the second sign, one that cuts even deeper than silence during arguments. Think back to when things were good. When she loved you, she wanted to tell you everything. Her boss annoyed her? You knew about it. Her best friend betrayed her trust? She vented to you. Even the little details, the random frustration in traffic, the drama in her group chat. You heard it all. Why? Because in her mind, you weren't just her boyfriend, her partner, or her husband. You were her safe space. But now, the conversations feel dead. You ask her, How was your day? And she gives you one word. Fine. You try to push a little and she shrugs it off, changes the subject or worse, scrolls on her phone like you don't exist. And here's the truth most men don't want to admit. When she stops talking to you, it doesn't mean she's stopped talking. It means she's chosen someone else to open up to. It might be a friend, a co-worker, a family member, or maybe it's a stranger online giving her the validation she craves. But whoever it is, the fact remains. She no longer trusts you with her inner world. And the moment that happens, you're no longer her partner. You're just a roommate. Let that sink in. The woman who once poured her soul into you is now pouring it into someone else. So what do? You don't push. You don't interrogate. You don't ask, who are you texting? Who do you tell these things to now? That only drives her further away. Instead, you create space for her to feel safe with you again. When she talks, you put the phone down. You listen without immediately trying to fix her problems. You don't dismiss her feelings or minimize her struggles. You show her you're present, not just physically in the same room, but emotionally tuned in. Because communication isn't about words. It's about trust. And when she stops talking to you, the trust has been fractured. Here's the harsh reality. A woman who falls out of love doesn't usually slam the door. She slowly closes it. One missed conversation at a time. One withheld detail at a time. Until you're on the outside of her world, watching her share her soul with someone else. And when that day comes, you'll feel it in your gut. Not because she said anything, but because she stopped saying everything. Sign number 3. She constantly criticizes you. Let me tell you something most men never see coming. There's a difference between feedback and criticism, and when love fades, that difference becomes painfully clear. When she was in love, even her complaints had purpose. She'd say things like, I wish you'd call me when you're running late, or it'd mean a lot if you paid more attention when I'm talking. Those weren't attacks, they were requests. They came from a place of wanting to grow together, of wanting the relationship to be better. But when the love fades, the tone changes. Suddenly, nothing you do is good enough. The way you dress, the way you drive, the way you speak at a party, every little thing becomes ammunition. And here's the kicker. She doesn't even keep it private anymore. She criticizes you in front of friends, family, or even strangers. At first, you laugh it off. You tell yourself, she's just joking. But deep down, it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like a jab. And every jab chips away at something vital. Respect. A relationship can survive disagreements, but it cannot survive the death of respect. When a woman crosses the line from constructive feedback to constant criticism, she's not trying to help anymore. She's trying to justify her exit. Think about it. If she paints you as careless, lazy, or immature, it makes it easier for her to walk away. She's rewriting the story in her head. Instead of, we grew apart, the story becomes, he wasn't good enough for me. And once she convinces herself of that, leaving you feels less like betrayal and more like liberation. This is where most men make a fatal mistake. They either explode in anger, feeding her narrative that they're toxic, or they shrink, becoming overly compliant in the desperate hope that if they just behave better, she'll stop attacking. But both of those responses do the same thing. They hand her the power. Here's what you must do instead. You set a boundary. Calmly, directly, and firmly. You say, I'm open to honest conversations about our issues, but tearing me down, especially in front of others, is disrespectful, and I won't accept it. Then you watch how she responds. If she takes it seriously and adjusts, there may still be something left to salvage. But if she doubles down, laughs it off, or dismisses your boundary, then she's not just criticizing you, she's degrading you. And that means the love is already gone. Remember this. A woman who has fallen out of love doesn't just walk away. She lowers you first, so walking away feels justified. Don't let her strip away your dignity in the process. Sign number 4. She avoids you. Now let's talk about avoidance, the silent killer of relationships. Think back to the beginning. Remember how she always wanted to be near you? Dinner dates, movie nights, weekends together, late night conversations that lasted until sunrise. Back then, being in your presence was her safe space, her favorite part of the day. But now, everything has changed. She's suddenly too busy. Work piles up. She's too tired. She needs more me time. One excuse after another until seeing her feels less like being with your partner and more like trying to book an appointment with someone who no longer wants to be scheduled. And here's the truth. People always make time for what they value. If she truly wanted to be with you, she'd find a way. Her absence isn't about her calendar. It's about her priorities. This is where avoidance becomes dangerous. Because every time she chooses something else over you, her friends, her job, the gym, even scrolling on her phone, she's sending you a clear message. You are no longer my priority. And the space she creates by avoiding you, that's fertile ground for someone else to step in. Maybe it's an old friend, maybe it's a new coworker, maybe it's just the freedom of being without you. But one way or another, avoidance builds distance, and distance builds replacements. Here's where men usually mess up. They start begging. They plead for more time. They try to squeeze themselves into her schedule, as if love can be rescheduled like a business meeting. But that only pushes her further away, confirming what she already feels, that she has the upper hand and you'll accept scraps of her attention. So what do? You stop chasing. You stop begging. You step back and observe. Look at the patterns. Are you consistently her last option? Are you always the one making plans, only to be met with excuses? If the answer is yes, then accept the reality. Reclaim your time. Pour it back into yourself, your growth, your health, your purpose. Because here's the truth. A man who values his presence doesn't have to fight for it. He makes it undeniable. And let me be clear, if you have to beg a woman just to spend time with you, you've already lost more than her affection. You've lost your position in her world. That's where we'll pause for now. In this part, we reveal two brutal shifts. She constantly criticizes you. She starts avoiding you. Both are signs that respect and closeness are dying fast. Let's be real for a second. Intimacy is not just about sex. It's the glue that holds a relationship together in ways most men never fully understand. Think about when things were good. A simple kiss could light her up. A hug after a long day could melt her stress away. Even casual touches, her hand brushing yours, her head resting on your shoulder, carried warmth and meaning. You didn't even have to think about it. The closeness was natural, effortless. But now, that closeness is gone. The kisses that used to linger now feel like quick, empty pecks. The cuddles vanish. She pulls away when you reach for her. She turns her body slightly at night, so her back is facing you. Maybe she even starts inventing excuses. I'm too tired. I have a headache. Or, I'm just not in the mood. And here's the truth. When physical intimacy disappears, it's rarely about stress, exhaustion, or routine. It's about the emotional connection dying inside her. Because a woman doesn't just stop touching a man she loves. Her body mirrors her heart. And if her heart is disconnected, her body will follow. Most men lie to themselves here. They say, she's just busy, or she's just stressed. But deep down they know. They can feel the rejection in every missed kiss, every turned shoulder, every excuse. What do you do in this moment? You don't demand intimacy. You don't pressure her or guilt her into closeness. That only creates resentment. What you do instead is face the truth. If the warmth is gone, your relationship is on life support. And you have to ask yourself, is she willing to rebuild the connection? Or has she already decided it's over? Be brave enough to ask that question directly, and be even braver to accept the answer, even if it hurts. Because love isn't measured by promises she once made. It's measured by the intimacy she no longer gives. And when that disappears, you're not just losing closeness. You're losing the relationship itself. This final sign might be the hardest of all. Because it's not something you can prove with texts, screenshots, or witnesses. It's not even something she admits out loud. It's something you feel. That uneasy weight in your chest when she walks past you without looking at you. The tension at dinner that feels heavier than the silence. the way your stomach knots when she smiles at her phone but not at you. Men are taught to ignore this, to dismiss their intuition as paranoia, to push down that nagging voice that whispers, something's wrong. But here's the truth. Your gut is often the first alarm system to go off when love starts dying, and science backs this up. Intuition isn't magic. It's your brain picking up on patterns, micro-expressions, and shifts in energy that you can't consciously explain. When her tone changes, when her energy feels colder, when her presence feels like absence, you sense it. And ignoring that doesn't make it disappear. It just delays the truth you'll eventually have to face. So, what do you do when your gut tells you she's gone? You don't spiral into paranoia. And you don't gaslight yourself into denial. You acknowledge the feeling. You look for the signs that confirm it. And then, you act. If the evidence shows she's pulling away, you confront it directly. You have the conversation. Or, if she's already too far gone, you make the break. Because dragging out uncertainty doesn't save the relationship. It erodes your strength and your dignity. Remember this. Your gut is not your enemy. It's your ally. It whispers what your pride doesn't want to admit. And if your heart is already ringing the alarm, the truth isn't waiting to be discovered. It's waiting for you to accept it. You have two choices. Choice 1, you face it head on. You sit her down. You have the hard conversation. You ask her directly if she still wants to build something with you. If she says yes, then both of you must commit, really commit, to rebuilding the trust, the intimacy, the respect. Choice 2, you walk away with your dignity intact. You choose respect over desperation. You accept that sometimes the bravest act of love is letting go. Because here's the truth. A man who refuses to see the signs loses more than the woman. He loses himself. But a man who faces the truth, even when it hurts, gains something far greater. Clarity, strength, and the power to rebuild his life on his own terms. Remember this. A mature man doesn't fear losing a woman who doesn't love him anymore. He fears losing his own self-respect by holding on too long. So if these words hit home, don't stay silent. Share your story in the comments below. I want to hear your experiences, your battles, your lessons. And if you want more raw, unfiltered truths about women, love, and power in relationships, hit that subscribe button right now, like this video. Share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Because the worst thing you can do is ignore the signs. The best thing you can do is wake up, face the truth, and take your power back. This is Female Code Unlocked, where men stop being blindsided and start becoming unshakable.